I recently purchased a playmat kit from Alpha Investments in December 2020, and I wanted to tell you what it's all about, what this package contains, and what the kit contains, and also give you my opinion on this purchase. Now, there were 269 of these kits available, and all of them sold out. It didn't sell out nearly as fast as anything else. It looked like it was at least 10 to 14 hours of time where you could get in on buying one of these kits. The kits were $300 and they included 3 playmats and 1 hero rainbow foil card. Now, I want to first give you an overview of what's inside my package, show you everything that's inside the kit, and then at the end I'm going to tell you my opinion on this purchase that I made. So I'm going to move the camera down a little bit. Alright, so it comes in something like this. Looks like an eBay wrapping. Now, what you want to make sure is inside there is the hero card. So I already found it earlier, but you'll have a hero card like this. I got Bravo, which I was very excited for. There's not too much money in this card at the moment, and I want to emphasize at the moment because these Flesh and Blood products are going crazy recently, but this is around $20 currently. I'll put that to the side. And you get 3 playmats that are rolled up here. And I will take them out very gently. So 2 of the playmats are actually signed by Rudy himself, and one of them is just a random playmat. Okay. Let me turn the camera a little bit here so you can get an overview. So this is the first playmat I got. This is a Crucible War. This looks like Mysteria. This is a really beautiful playmat in my opinion. This playmat's going for around $60 currently. There haven't been too many sales. Apparently this came in an armory kit, so not too much value in here, but it's very beautiful. I don't have one of these yet, so I'm very happy with this purchase. So I'll wrap this up and put it to the side. Now this playmat is really cool. This was from Arcane Rising. You can see that Rudy signed it up here, his name in 2020. Really like this playmat. I have not had a chance to purchase one of these in the past, so I was very happy to grab one as part of this kit. These are usually selling for around 150 to 120 on the open market currently. Again, this is December 27th. So things can change a lot in the Flesh and Blood online marketplace, but they're currently selling for around 120, 150, but I haven't seen any sell that have the signature right here. Now, something to note is that only 269 of these kits were ever created, so essentially there's only 269 of these playmats in theory with this signature right here, which is, it depends how much people put a value on signatures, but this is really neat. I'll wrap it up and put to the side. And now here we got the holiday playmat. I already have one of these, but I'm very excited to have one that is signed. It's really nice. Yeah, not too much to say about this. Same as the other one. There was 1,000 of these made, and only 269 in theory will have the signature by Rudy. And yeah, that's the playmat. Not too much more into that, but these are pretty limited. And again, with the other one, there are 1,000 that have been made, and around $150 range is what you're going to be spending on eBay for one of these, or around. Sometimes you can get them for a little bit less, like 120, but usually they're selling for 150 at this time, which is December 27th, 2020. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So again, what you have is you have 2 of these playmats right here with Rudy on them, and he signed the playmats that had his face on them, which I thought was really neat. That's a really cool thing to add. And it's really kind of like a historical thing, man, because he's been in the game for a long time. So it's really cool that you have a little piece of history like this. And then you got this random playmat. Again, I don't know how much these crew playmats go for now. I mean, the last one that sold was a pretty long time ago. I guess it's just all about supply and who's willing to give up their stuff at certain times. Now it seems like a lot of people are trying to hold on to stuff because they're worried. So we got 3 of these playmats along with a hero card. And again, this playmat right here could be like any playmat. Same with this hero card. You could get like any different type. I'm really happy that I got Bravo because I use Bravo in a lot of my decks. And then these two, though, were always going to be in this kit regardless of what you paid. So let me put this to the side and I'll give you more of my opinion. So that's what really came in the kit. And again, 269 of these were created, and about, let's see, the price was $300 for the US. I believe it was $400 if you were shipping it overseas. Now, my opinion on this initially, man, and I want to go into the negative first, and I'll end on a positive note. Is, it's a lot of money, $300 for 3 playmats and a card. The value in here, it feels at this current time, everything added up is just about equal to the amount that these are worth on the open market. Now you have to know that there's always fees associated with sales. So all in all, it equals the amount 300. And in a way that's you don't really get as much initial value for this. But what I will say is that it is limited, and this isn't really kind of like a collector thing or investment. It seems that it was this market. This is more a history thing. If you're into Flesh and Blood history, this is it. But $300 for no booster box is quite a thing, man. Because I don't know, before 2020, I don't think I owned any playmats at all for any TCG. I just didn't understand the point. Um, and paying $300 for 3 of them plus a card, it was a bit much, not gonna lie. But I wanna talk about the positives now. Like I at first I want to say it is much for this stuff. I will totally agree with that. But I mean, you have to admit that these things have been retaining value pretty well on eBay and other places because it seems like they're limited. I mean, when you make something that's 1,000, only 1,000 exists in the world, that's kind of a big deal. And not only that, but since it's 1 out of 269 that are signed for the 2 Rudy playmats, the Arcane Rising and the Holiday one, it makes it so it's more of a specialty type thing, and it really is historic in nature for the game. I mean, I feel that a lot of people don't realize how big of an influence that Rudy has had on the game. And there's no way at this time that we can quantify it or really go into exactly what the effects of he had on this game. But you gotta admit, man, for at least the last year, he's been plugging this game, talking about it, and there's so many investors and collectors with huge ass wallets that are just waiting to throw money at any little thing that he talks about. And when he talks about this stuff and he says, hey, I like it, it's a fun thing and the people are great, there's a lot of backing that he has of people who are like, well, I'll throw $3,000 at this game, let's check it out, and all that stuff. So you get a bunch of those types of people who are getting into this game and pushing focus into the game. You bring a lot of capital into the game itself, and you make it really big. And you guys have seen how crazy Flesh and Blood has been in the last 3 months, especially in 2020 at the Q4 2020. But essentially, I feel that all that rambling that I just went on is just really going into the fact that I feel that in the future, I feel like his influence is really going to be maybe like focused on and say, hey, maybe he did have a huge part in the success of this game, and these are historical playmats that have his face on it, that have the Flesh and Blood logo on it, and his signature. So I feel that long term, will they appreciate to some crazy amount like the Welcome to Wrath alpha boxes? No, that's not happening, man. But would I be able to get my $300 back someday? Most likely, and that's all I want, man. I'm a collector. I like the history of Flesh and Blood. I like having historical things. So this was a fun thing for me to buy. I'm very happy with my purchase, but at the end of the day, I will admit that it was a little expensive, but I like having a little piece of history. And honestly, every purchase I've made from Alpha Investments thus far has net me money in the long run. Like I haven't purchased a product and I found out later that it's worth nothing. So I feel that that has gained me confidence in these kits. So I feel that this is why not like keep going forward. In all honesty, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep buying the kits from Rudy because honestly, they retain their value, and I don't think that these playmats are going to exceed like any type of returns in the future. And this is not investment information at all. I'm just saying that there's only so much money someone's going to throw at a playmat, so I really don't think it has too much upward momentum. But just for a piece of history, man, it's cool to own that piece of history. But other than that, I think that another great thing that this allowed people to do is for people who really love Flesh and Blood, they were able to get this product. And I really like that because this sale of the kit was on the Alpha Investments Patreon for a long time. I mean, it was around for at least I believe 14 hours, somewhere around that range, a little bit more or less, but 14 hours is a hell of a lot longer than 7 or 14 or 15 minutes. Because when the other kits of Flesh and Blood that had the booster box and everything, those kits literally sold out in like 14 minutes. So having a kit that stayed out there for 14 hours where anybody could buy into, and anybody who really loved Flesh and Blood, who loves the history of it, could get a piece of it. That is what I really loved. I think that's a really big positive that a lot of people don't really see. That if it didn't matter who you were, if you got in late. I personally didn't know that this was going on until about 5 hours later at 3 a.m. and I figured I was like, oh, cool, it's still available. Might as well get it. Sounds cool. And I love Flesh and Blood, like history. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm buying this thing. So it was nice that people who really love Flesh and Blood and who were passionate about it got it. And I think that was the point of it, man. Like, all in all, yeah, I bet Rudy netted a bunch of money because $300 for 3 playmats and a promo card. But essentially, what I like is that people who had passion for the game, who liked the history, got it because up to this point, I feel that a lot of people just instantly bought it out because there was instant money. Because what was selling was 300, but on the open market it was 500, so you could literally instantly make like tons of money back after your purchase. This it was more you're paying $300 and you're getting $300 worth of items, and that's it. But not only is it just $300 worth of like booster boxes and all this promo stuff, it's a piece of history, really, honestly. And you might think I'm crazy. That's fine. That's fine, man. But if this game is going to the moon like it's projected to go to, right? I'm going to say this at the end. If it goes to the moon like it's projected to, these types of items that are highly limited, that are highly collectible, I feel are really going to be great to have in the long run because you can look at it and say, man, I'm one of 269 people out there in the world that have these playmats, of the 1,000 people who have the playmats that have a really rich history for Flesh and Blood. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, just to wrap up, to summarize, I do acknowledge that the price for these playmats, the 3 playmats, the one promo, it kind of equaled what the market value was. I don't think there's too much value in this type of thing, but I'm just gonna stay and purchase whatever Flesh and Blood products are on the Alpha Investments Patreon, because in the long run, it looks like they're at least retaining their value. And as a collector, and I love Flesh and Blood so much that I might as well buy stuff that has really good historical value. So I'm happy with my purchase, and yeah, we'll see what the future has to hold for this kind of stuff. But we're definitely going into a little uncharted territory here with signing of playmats that are extremely limited on the front end of 1,000, and then you kick it up a notch, and now they're limited to 269. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.